Major retailers like Best Buy and Walmart just announced that they're going to stop carrying physical media in 2024. Are physical collectors like us just screwed?
We have a fighting chance, and GameStop is our only hope.
So to be clear, Best Buy and Walmart just said they're not going to carry physical media anymore next year. That's a big deal.
That's kind of scary.
We've all heard it before. It's all over the news. It's going crazy. Honestly, we've kind of seen this already.
Our Best Buys have been slim pickings for past couple years now.
Yeah, there's maybe one aisle of DVDs and like audio. I don't even see CDs anymore at all. So the real question is, will Best Buy even have a storefront anymore? Because honestly, I've seen them reduce all their stock except for like major appliances and like weird new things.
I mean, I guess they're gonna sell, I've seen exercise equipment in the stores, of course, home theater equipment, you know, they have their Magnolia surround sound. I think that's still going on.
Yeah, so like they're a TV place. You can buy your TVs and sound systems.
And computers.
Yeah.
Computers are still a thing.
Yeah. And you all know this, right? Best Buy happens to be what we have here in Arizona. I know in other parts of the country they have things like, Tim Hortons and stuff like that. I don't know if Tim Hortons is the one.
No, I think that's fast food.
Oh, okay.
I think they serve chicken.
Yeah. So this leads us to believe that video games are to follow suit soon. They haven't been announced, but it's coming, right?
Sooner than later. I'm afraid to see what happens in the next 5 years. I thought we had like 10 more years of physical media.
Yeah, not so much. So on the other side of things, GameStop is increasing their physical media selection.
Yes.
By a lot.
Retro is back
It's
at
back.
GameStop.
To be clear, they don't really carry all retro, right? They're
Well-
very selective.
Yeah, I mean it's trickling in. I was there last week and I saw a Nintendo game and a Sega Genesis game
It's crazy.
and a ton of 3DS and DS.
Great. Let's bring it back, 3DS. The other things GameStop's doing that's kind of crazy is their used game deals are getting pretty good.
Yeah, you can't go wrong when they do the 4 for $20?
Yeah, and buy two, get two. It's getting pretty consistent, and they have trade-in deals where you get bonus trade-in when you pre-order games. The other thing about GameStop that's kind of redeeming and becoming a big deal right now is that their trade-in values are getting pretty good.
Yes.
And it's weird, right? So there is a section of the market that really only shops at GameStop. And it has to be that way. Otherwise, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 wouldn't trade in for $15 or $20 like it has recently.
Right.
Those people only shop at GameStop. They don't know that the local game stores exist where they could go buy that same Call of Duty game for $5.
Well, I think part of the interesting benefit that GameStop has is they have a lot of locations, right? They're all under the
Everywhere.
same hood, right? They're all GameStop. I mean, as much as we want our local mom and pop shops to succeed, they're individualized, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes they're against each other. Sometimes they're not collaborating. Sometimes there's a little bit of drama between them. But if there's a GameStop within every 5 miles, how many mom and pop shops do we have within the same 5 miles? There probably isn't one.
Right, so let's think about new games for a minute. That's the big deal, right? New game releases in physical games. Right now, your options to buy them are pretty plentiful. We have Walmart, Target, Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop. Those are like a big 5 I can think of right off the top of my head.
Right.
So if you take out Walmart and Target and Best Buy, all that leaves you with is the online options and GameStop. You would want these other like local game stores to carry them, but they don't have the purchasing power to do that. And they know how prices fluctuate with it, where you buy a new game now, it's going to be worth $10 to $15 less within a couple months.
Right. Their margins are super thin on the new titles.
So they're just not going to dive in. That leaves us with GameStop and Amazon.
Yeah.
That's it. Speaking of retro gaming, I've actually been playing Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance on the Analog Pocket recently and just beat it and loved it. It's probably one of my new favorite Castlevania games, and I can't wait to jump into the Aria of Sorrow next.
I've been playing Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky Part 2, but I had to take a break for a couple of months because my neck was really hurting me while I was trying to play it. Playing back-to-back portable games in a row for the past 6 months or so.
Yeah, that's a long game.
Yeah.
But, you know, thankfully, recently, we got these. The Valaria Gaming pillows, and let's just say it looks like you're playing your Vita again.
Yeah, it's great because now when I look at the Vita, my arms are positioned in a way where I don't have to tilt my head down, and that radiates that pain.
So here's the thing, I'm 6'4" and I slouch a lot, especially after a long day at work. My back hurts all the time.
Gaming is a hobby that deserves to be enjoyed comfortably.
The Valeri pillow literally forces us into a good gaming position so that we can play longer without the pain. The Valeri pillow is made from premium fabrics that are super soft. Plus, the covers can be removed and thrown in the wash. They come in 3 tiers: rare, legendary, and a customizable option, epic. The epic one lets you customize your embroidery and even put symbols and your cool gamer tag on the front of them. I got a PlayStation controller.
And mine has 2 cats on it.
It's adorable.
I can even fold it up into an accent cushion.
Use our discount code to get 15% off the Valeri pillow or 25% off 3 pillows.
This pillow is seriously all gain and no pain.
Seriously, go pick yours up today and join us in this comfort revolution. So as we were saying, right now, Best Buy still hasn't really announced they're going to stop carrying video games, but they're probably going too soon.
It seems like it's on the horizon.
For sure. I think, personally, and you're welcome to agree or disagree, I really think that this is going to change the dynamic of new games very quickly.
Yes.
So another big question is, if mom and pop game stores are the only ones left, let's say GameStop goes away, will developers even make physical games if they have to rely on these small individual markets to buy them from them?
Well, as a manufacturing standpoint, it's much cheaper not to make physical media if it's all digital.
100%.
You know?
That's another question. Let's say the big box retailers all go away and they don't sell physical games anymore, and GameStop is the last one. Is that a monopoly problem?
I mean, if they play their cards right, this could be amazing for them.
They might want to encourage those other stores to stop carrying them, to be honest with you. They've been barely surviving for the last few years, and honestly, this might be their last hope.
Yeah.
So there is an information problem nowadays. We have the internet, and the internet is plentiful and gives us a lot of things to find games with. But people still use bad sources to buy video games or value their video games. One good example is DK Oldies. So how many times have we seen on OfferUp or yard sales where people are valuing their games based on DK Oldies selling prices?
We've definitely run into the Amazon
Amazon, yeah.
pricing, which is a little gut-wrenching, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing. We have friends that sell on Amazon, and the big deal with that is you are guaranteed a higher quality item. If it's sealed, you're guaranteed for it to really be sealed. Like, there's a vetting process that prevents them from screwing you over, which is a big deal.
There's the ease of access, right?
Yes, you can get it today.
Anybody can order off of Amazon and have that product in stock. But not only that, if you get it and you don't like the condition, you can just return it. If it's broken.
Yeah. So going back to the DK Oldie situation, we have a problem gathering and giving out information about how to buy video games nowadays. Call of Duty is one of the best-selling video games in the US. Like, hands down, it's a consistently great selling franchise, and I have to bring it up a lot because how quickly do those games become $5 games?
6 months?
Maybe. Those games are still purchased at GameStop and Amazon and DK Oldies for full price way after they become $20 or less in all the other local game stores. I think that if GameStop becomes the only provider of it, that's going to get worse. Another problem with what's going on right now is I wonder if the new generation or younger generation actually likes shopping in person anymore.
Does the next generation even care about physical media? Or
question.
Is it just all about ease of access? The internet is so ingrained into our daily lives that, the information's out there.
For sure. So let's talk about physical game collecting, how it is now and how it will be in a couple of years. Obviously, everything's going to go up in value. It always does. Probably more so when they become unavailable, right? What about our ability to get them?
Well, let's talk about our garage sale weekend.
Yeah. So we had a great garage sale weekend. We found around 80 physical games, which is insane.
Crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's our season right now.
Yeah. So if our garage sales are a microcosmic representation of the entire gaming community, what percent of them now tell us, I just play digital games now?
We ran into 3 different houses that weekend that said they had a Nintendo Switch to sell. We asked about the games, and they said, oh, well, we don't have any games. They're all on the system. So there's no resale value on your digital games. Once you factory reset it, it's gone. You're not giving out your password at GameStop if you trade it in or at a garage sale.
And that's changed, right? So a year ago, even 2 years ago, when we would buy a console from somebody, they would add value to it in their minds because it has these online or these digital only games.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we're not getting that as much. They're just like, oh, I need to factory reset it if you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
So that knowledge has transferred in a couple of years from our small scale. So now to the big reason we're all here today. How is GameStop going to save us physical video game collectors?
By having physical games for us old people.
Absolutely. And there's more to it than that, right? For sticking through the next couple years where other stores stop.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Play your cards right.
I think we have to consider the other companies out there that exist that are also helping substantiate physical game collecting. We have the East Asia Softs.
Right.
The Play Asias, the Limited Run.
Yep.
I guarantee developers see this and go, okay, there is still a need, because most of those like sell out fast.
Yeah. We just had another PS Vita on, I think, East Asia?
Yeah, another PS Vita game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I guarantee developers see that. Obviously, it doesn't represent the majority.
Well, the problem runs into, right? We have the PS5 Slim that just came out, and you have
Just got announced, yeah.
the optional hard disk drive on it.
That's a big picture right there.
Right?
That
It's optional.
says a lot.
So is the PS6 or 7 going to even have that option at all? Will they have a disk drive? Will they have a cartridge slot, a UMD slot? Who knows? Like, is there even going to be an option at that point in time?
There's still another major problem with digital gaming right now that I just can't get over, and it frustrates the heck out of me. And people don't seem to care about it, and maybe it's just because we're in a different space. And that's hard drive space, flash drive space.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the digital market primarily applies to those people that play 1 or 2 or 3 games a year, maybe, right? And that's all that they need, and that's all that fits. And once they beat a game, they uninstall it and they put a new one on.
Yeah.
People like us, it's impossible. Like, even with our physical game collection, we constantly have to clear up our memory on our PS5.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a new game we want to play? Let's clear out the memory for this one. It's impossible. We need to get to 100 terabytes before we get to a point where digital is even remotely okay for people like us that game all the time.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put a petabyte on like consoles.
Right. Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I'm down. It's not gonna change
It's
anything.
gonna be so expensive though.
Very. And I'm still gonna collect physical games. But that's a big problem. And I know that Sony's releasing their new digital system with an actual 1 terabyte versus the 850 or whatever it is. And then the rumored new Xbox system is going to have 2 terabytes. And, that's still not enough.
Yeah.
And games are getting bigger.
Right.
Like, the future isn't smaller for data, it's bigger, and it's not going to change. We need the physical media to store the majority of that data.
Well, and the larger that games get in storage size, does that mean that games are going to be $100 retail price? Like,
it's tough to say.
Final Fantasy 20 is going to be $100. Right.
Final Fantasy 20 better be a throwback to 2D, or I'm not going to be happy. Anyways, side note. So I'm putting all cards in on GameStop. I think we need to, as a community, support them, trade in some affordable games. Honestly, in my personal opinion, find their buy list, and you're going to be able to trade stuff into them for more than you would a local game store on the games that you wouldn't think of, like a lot of Call of Duties and stuff like that, like I keep bringing up.
Yeah, the items that the local shops aren't going to be able to give you as much in trade-in value, it's a good idea to look towards GameStop. And, there's not a better way to show your vote to the market than to where you're spending your money. So if these other companies, Walmart, obviously Walmart's not going to see a sneeze
No.
in their revenue if people stop buying their video games from them. If people start buying from GameStop or any retailer, really, we're not trying to promote GameStop in particular.
Right.
They're not sponsoring us.
No, they never will.
But something to consider where you spend your money. If you're going to buy video games physically, support the industries that have them physically to sell.
And that's tough. You can't always do that because sometimes Amazon has the best deal on a game.
It's true.
And it's not worth spending twice the amount just because you want to support somebody else, or maybe it is, if you have money to throw around.
If it's important to you, you know, it's something to consider.
And also to make another thing clear, we don't think GameStop is like the holy ark of retailers and they do nothing wrong and they're a big corporate, amazing. That's not the case.
No, of course not. But this is their time to like really turn things around and shine as a company.
They can physically save the physical gaming community if they stick through these next couple years.
I mean, will that maybe change the executive minds on carrying physical media if people start supporting the retailers that do have physical media?
Maybe. There is one little problem about GameStop, though, that is going to kind of cause a crutch in what they're doing right now. How often, and this is a question for y'all, comment below, how often do you walk into a GameStop and the people that work there are retro knowledgeable? Pricing, authenticity, even just about the games.
Yeah.
It's not very often.
No, I don't think that they have a program in their training for spotting reproductions.
And we found them a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, we always make sure to really expect to look through your GBA games and even your DS games. I haven't seen any 3DS counterfeits.
Not yet. I'm sure they're coming.
But you never know. Could be just over the horizon.
That being said, it might not matter. Right? The people that only shop at GameStop that want that Pokemon White 2 on DS, they go there and they say, oh, this is Pokemon White 2 on DS, and they buy it.
Yeah.
And they play it, and they have no idea that it's not authentic, and it might not matter.
There's good reproductions and there's bad reproductions. Sometimes they're not very, well made sometimes. So someone might pick up that Pokemon White 2 and play it, and it breaks in like an hour. And that's a problem.
Well, and that's on GameStop's boat at that point. If
Right.
they didn't provide the education necessary to adequately trade in and authenticate these retro games, then that's on them, and that could potentially cause a big downfall.
Right.
The first time somebody with a bad moral compass trades in a Pokemon Soul Silver at GameStop and goes, wow, that was easy, like a fake one, they're going to do it like 4 times at all the other GameStops, and they're going to saturate the market with these fake cartridges. Don't do that.
Do this.
But we've seen specifically Heart Gold
Yeah.
fake at a GameStop, and the person that worked there had no idea.
Well, we saw the $100 Dragon Ball
Oh
GBA
yeah,
game.
and the cover on the GBA game
it was pretty obvious.
it was
like-
nothing like the game
Yeah.
looks.
You don't have Metroid. Check another store. There we go.
There's no stamp on it, and look how the corners cut off.
yeah, it's fake. That's
It's probably counterfeit.
Yeah, and I felt kind of bad because it's a great game, but
Yeah.
it's very fake, and they had
'Cause-
no idea.
Because, they gave out a decent amount of credit or cash for that game, because it's an expensive game.
So I think that in the end, in a couple years, if the only place you can go window shop for video games is GameStop, then they're going to survive, and we're going to still be able to collect physical games, and all the other physical gaming companies like Limited Run and PlayAsia and East Asia Soft are going to still exist.
Yeah. Now, of course, again, go to your local game store first, support them.
Support local, always, yes.
That's feeding their family, that's paying their bills. But if you have to shop big box retail, consider who's selling the physical games.
Absolutely.
If it matters to you.
I don't think it really makes a dent on, like you said, on Walmart or Target or Best Buy when you buy a physical game from them.
Right.
So in my opinion, I would rather buy it from GameStop.
Right.
At least show them that you're giving them the business.
We'll see what happens next year when physical media is going away at the big box
For sure.
stores.
So thank y'all for watching. Please comment below on your opinions on GameStop and the whole physical media end thing. We know it's been going all over the news, but we really want to hear what y'all have to say. And until then, remember, the couple that shops at GameStop together stays together. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.